Alright, so we're going to be working on this project where we create a helix type. Actually, I can open it. Helix. Container. Whoa. My bad. Container that will hold a fake virus, for a video game or something. So, to start out, I have the 2D drawing that I gave you guys. Which looks like that. It may not have exactly every dimension, but it has most of them that you will need to create this. It doesn't have the arc for the actual handle, so that's going to be something we have to work with once we get there. So basically, once we have our AutoCAD open, I'll close out these other ones. That one I want to keep. This is a later on project that we're going to be working on. Yeah. Alright, so basically what we're going to be doing is doing a section view of it first in 2D. We can use that section to revolve around to create the object. I'm going to start with the base, which is, I'm going to use polyline, rectangle. Click on that rectangle, click on a point on the screen, type in D for dimension. I'm going to do 3, because that's usually the width. And the height is 0.5. Okay, so it's a little bit smaller. I'm going to zoom in. I have to explode this because I need to create 2 notches in here that will hold the glass that surrounds the helix. To do that, I'm going to first explode this. I'm going to either offset or copy it over this whole entire line here. I'm going to go make sure ortho is on. Go over 0.125. Then I'm going to copy it over again at the thickness of the glass, which is 0.125 again. And the depth, I'm going to draw a line across, move this over, down, is 0.25. I trim off the leftovers, which I don't need, like so. And I'm just going to do, actually I need to trim the top over here too. And I'm going to make a mirror of this notch on the other side. Use the mirror command, use the center as my actual mirror, click enter or space. I got that, then just gotta trim it, and I have my first piece done. What I want to do next is do the actual glass, which is do a rectangle again, D enter. The thickness is 0.125, which is actually the width, and the height will be, I don't have that in, so we gotta do their math. Let's see, 4.75, 5.25 plus 0.25, 5.5. So 5.5, and I'm gonna move it so it fits in here. I can also do the mirror command, so I can get both sides of it, like so. Now the next thing I need to do is create the top piece. Just gonna draw it up over here somewhere. Not gonna put it on, use the glass yet, because that might cause problems for me. So I'm just gonna do a rectangle again. I'm gonna type in D for dimensions, 3 for the width, and the height is 0.75, like so. Again, I'm gonna explode this. This I'm going to use offset. I'm going to offset it 0.125, the side wall, and the slot, which that glass will fit in, which is the same size as the glass. Even though it should be probably a little bit bigger, but this is just a drawing. So we have that. Next step is I need to actually cut the depth for it, which is 1/2 inch. So I'm going to copy this line over, or I can offset it too, up 0.5, and I just got to trim all the pieces, like so, including the bottom where the slot is. I use that object to mirror it from the center of the top line, because that line at the bottom is from here to here. It's not all the way from the beginning to the end of the image. So I go to trim again, I trim that right there, And what I need to do next is I can move it over into where the glass is to make sure that I have it set up correctly compared to the PDF. Place it in there. The only way I can test if this is correct is if the dimension from over here to over here is 4.75. So I'm going to do that. Dimension from there to there, 4.75. Correct. All right. Exactly what I needed. Delete that. That's a reference. And what I need to do next is I need to create a 2-inch top hole that goes a 1/4 inch in, and then a smaller hole starts from the bottom, 1.75. So what I'm going to do is draw a line from the center going down 0.25, and I'm going to move this over 1 inch, and then I'm going to mirror it over from that top line, like so. So that's going to be actually my cutout, the top piece. Then it goes across, it looks like 0.125, and down. Now if I can't, the way I can make sure that this is correct is there was a dimension that was shown on the drawings that said 0.625, which that is, so it's perfect. Again, I'm going to use these two lines. I'm going to mirror it using the top line like so, and that leaves me with the exact design. The only thing I need to do next is to hatch it, which is easy. You can use your hatch command. A screen up here will pop up. We want to use a pattern. Yeah, that's a pattern. ANSI works for me. Like so. The glass I didn't fill because that it's gonna cause it won't look as nice. So I have that piece done. The only thing I need to do next is the helix. That you can't really use on the side view because our helix is actually tapered. So I will leave that for later on when I'm going to create a helix that's 3D, and I'll put it in here. So you'll see what I mean in a couple of minutes. Alright, so we have our section view of our cylinder. Next thing we need to do is do the cap. Easy way to do a cap would be to just copy what we have here, including the top and bottom line, and copy it over. And I usually try to copy it at a specific distance. That way, in case I need to move it back or so forth, I know exactly how far it's away. I'm going to do 5 inches. I have something like this. I'm going to trim these pieces over here because now I no longer need those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Enter. And what I need to do is a few things. I need to take this line, copy it down. That is 0.5. Wait. This is, no, 0.25. Yeah, that looks about right.
Yeah, 0.25.
Yeah. Okay. 0.25. Now the next thing is I need to create the actual cutout. I'm going to use a line in the center, copy it over, or you can offset it, going one way 0.5, going the other way 0.5. So I got something like that. I'm going to trim the parts that I don't need. That is that, this, and this. So I have something like that. At this point, I need to use the chamfers, or fillets. Fillets. So I use fillet, and I'm going to fillet the first one, which is down here, is radius 0.25. I'm going to do the other side, and I'm going to do it again, fillet. I'm going to do radius 0.5. Like so. And that gives me the overall shape. Next thing to make is the handle, which is going to be, it doesn't have to be drawn over here because it actually hoops around. It's actually higher than the actual cylinder. So if we were looking at over here, it will be a section view of it would be somewhere up here going down. If you guys want to draw this, it's up to you. I don't mind. So it'll be something like that, connecting it to this assembly here. That shape is, but you can just use the base here. It's pretty much the same size. copy it over on top, and I give it a thickness of 0.125. So copy it down, 0.125. I'm going to create a box. So I'm going to close up here, close it up here, and I'm going to use radius fillet again. Fillet radius 0.125, like so. 0.125 this way too. So I have my shape here. You can also fill it this way if you want. You can make the fillets bigger or smaller, depends on what you prefer. I don't mind as long as it works in the system right here that you designed prior to this. Okay, so we have something like this. What we want to do next is convert these into polylines, that way we can revolve them around. So the shapes we actually need, I can keep this exploded, it's not a big deal. I need the shape of this, so I'm going to copy this over. Looks like I'm missing 2 lines. So I'm going to cut. Actually, you know what I should have done? I should have copied at a specified distance. So I'm going to do 10 inches. There we go. I got that piece right there. Now for this piece, I'm just going to take the whole thing because I don't have a section view of it yet. I'll go over 10. Delete the hatching because I no longer need that hatching. I'm going to cut it in half right here. Trim it apart since we're going to be revolving this. Okay, so I have this. The glass is actually a polyline, so all I have to do is just copy it over by 10. Okay, the cap, we'll do that next, but right now we'll work with this. What we need to do with this is make this into one polyline. To do that, you can type in pedit, M for multiple, select the whole body here, click space or enter. It's going to ask you if you want to make these polylines. Yes, so click enter, and then the next option is we need to join them. J for join, enter, enter. So we have that one piece done. You gotta do the same exact thing to the bottom. So pedit, M for multiple, select the entire object. Yes, I do want to make it into polylines. J for join, enter, enter. So I got a polyline down here, polyline up here, a polyline over here. What I need to do next is select all 3, and I think it should work if I do all 3. The only thing I'm worried about is if it unions it together, but I hope it doesn't. So I'm going to take all 3, I'm going to go to my home, I'll go over here to revolve, and my revolving plane is right here. I should make sure my ortho is on, that way it's perfectly straight, and then it's going to ask me what angle do you want. 360 is what I want, so I click enter. Actually, you know what? You guys do 360, I am going to do 300 because I already have this made. I don't like making the same things. Alright, so I have my cylinder. If you can't see it, you can go to visual view style and conceptual. It's a solid piece. It looks nice. It's cut because that's how I made it. Cut, no big deal. Go back to my top view. I'm going to make my cap. To do this, I'm going to copy it over like so. Copy, go down 10. It's going to go across this side because this was 5 inches, this is 10. And cut it in half. Trim out the pieces I don't need. Delete the rest. And again, I do pedit. M for multiple, select the box, enter, yes. J for join, enter, enter, enter. And we got ourselves the shape again. So now I take that object, I use the revolve command again, going up, oops, select the object, revolve. Unable to revolve, select the object. Ooh, there's something wrong with this one. Okay, let me try this. Revolve object. Okay, explode it. It's not working for some reason. Maybe it wasn't connected completely. We'll try using region instead. So I have region. I'm going to use revolve again. There we go. I'm going to write 300. Should cut in the same location. Yes, it does. Well, technically, I could have sliced it later on, but I prefer doing it this way. Alright, so I have that piece. Now, the one thing I forgot to do is we actually have to create the helix to place it into our cylinder. To do this, I will need to play with my UCX, which is the X, Y, and Z coordinate system. I have to revolve around, and I'm going to draw a helix. Actually, I don't have to revolve around. I'm going to draw a helix just right here as it is. Go to draw, modeling, draw helix, or you can go to draw helix. This is the helix. This is not the helix, a 3D polyline. This is the helix you want. Okay, it's going to ask you for the base radius. The base radius would be actually 1.75. Of course, you can make it any size you like, but it has to fit in and work with the system. Whatever you prefer. If you want to make it small enough so it can be pulled out, that's fine. If you want to make it large enough that it doesn't get removed, only the liquid inside gets removed, that's fine also. So our base is 1.75, and the ending radius is 2.25. So that means my helix is actually tapered in, like so. You can see it now. Sort of. Yeah, you can see it's smaller at the bottom, getting bigger at the top. Now, if you want to add additional turns, which I do recommend because it's set at default, which is 3 turns. I type in T for turns. I'm going to type in, let's say, 9 turns. And I need a height, which is the area inside the cylinder, which is exactly 4.75. 4.75. Enter. Now I have my piece here, my helix. I need to do is rotate it around so it actually fits into my container. So I'm going to take the object. Oops, it looks a little bit bigger. Yeah, I didn't do those were my diameters. That's okay. There's an easy way I can fix this. Just scale it from the center, 0.5. Since I did radius of that size and I was supposed to do diameter, it was twice as big. So I just scale it half. Hopefully that gives me the right size. Actually, it doesn't, because the height's not going to be the right size. Alright, so I have to do this one more time. Do it fast. Draw, helix, circle, D for diameter, 1.75, enter. D for diameter, 2.25. Turns are already set up for 9, because now it's the new default. And the height is at 4.75, just click space. Alright, I have my piece. Next thing I have to do is rotate it. To do that, I will select it, go to modify 3D operations, 3D rotate, use my x-axis to rotate it, like so. Actually, I'm going to rotate it a little bit more around. I want the bigger size to be to the top. I'm going to take this object, use the endpoint of the helix to attach it to, oh, it looks like that was the center, so I could have just clicked that and made it to the center, or the midpoint of that line. Now you can see that it's connected to the wrong spot. Actually, that should be in the middle. Like so. And that should be perfect, exactly what I need. So now if I do a top view, you'll see exactly what the PDF looks like, or close to it. You can revolve it around to place it in the right direction. The next thing you need to do is actually use that helix and create a circle and sweep it through that helix. So I'm going to make a copy of this helix. I'm going to go over 5 inches. I'm going to draw a circle. This circle doesn't have to be anywhere. It can be anywhere on the screen. Circle, D for diameter, 0.125. Again, you can make it a little bit bigger or smaller. It's really up to you. Or actually, I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to actually create a box. Let's see how that works. Rectangle, D enter, 0.125 by 0.125. And we use that box to revolve, sweep it around this helix. So I go to my sweep command, which is over here, sweep, select the box, enter. It's going to ask me what's the path. The path is my helix, so I select that helix, and hopefully, yep, there it was. It's a square-shaped helix now. So if I rotate it around, you can see that it's square-shaped. It's more like a spring than a circular. Actually, springs are circular too. All right. So I'm going to delete that box. I don't need that. You might just ruin my image. I'm going to copy this over 5 inches to place it inside my container. So I made that copy. It's in there. If I do a box, you can see that it's in there. Perfect. We have our cap. I'm going to copy that over too. We have the cap. And the next thing I need to do is make the handle. So I'm going to pause it for now. Alright, next step is once you have the top, everything established, what we can do is make the handle. Again, what you have to do is make this a polyline, so I got to do P edit, M for multiple, select the handle part, enter, enter, J for join, enter, enter, enter. That gives me a polyline handle shape. What I need to do next is figure out how to place it here so I could revolve around to make a nice shaped handle. Basically what you can do is go to like a side view of this, draw a circle from the center. I'm copying your idea. Wait, actually what I need to do is, actually I'll do it in the front view. So I'll go to the front view, 3D views, or top view, sorry. And from here I'm going to use a circle, or I can actually make an arch from where I want the object to start. Actually, I'm going to draw a reference line. Draw a line from here to here, move it up by 0.25, oops, no, 0.125. Draw an arc. Still need a center point, so I'm going to go up, see how high I want to go, but 5.5. Draw an arc from here to here, from here to here to here, and that is how my handle is going to be going. So what I need to do next is take this, and I'm going to copy it over 5, so you can see the actual piece is going from here to here. And what I need to do is either rotate this, or I rotate the handle design, or I can try sweeping it, and hopefully that would work too. So I'm going to actually try sweep. Select the object, sweep, select sweep, select the actual piece that I want to sweep, just the polyline, and then I want to select that arc that I just created. And click enter, enter. Yeah, alright, so I have to rotate this first. So I'm going to take this object, go to modify, 3D operations, 3D rotate. I'm going to rotate it on the Z axis. You can't really see it that well, so I'm going to rotate it around. There we go. Now you can see it's rotated at an angle. I'm going to move it over, move 5 to the center. What I need to do is move it back so it's actually, I can actually attach it to the end of the arc, and I can do sweep again. Hopefully this one can work. Select the object, enter. Now that wants the path, select the path, and I actually have my handle. Once the handle is complete, I need to, handle is complete. What I need to do is union it to the actual object. Since I did a cutout on mine, I'm going to rotate my handle so it doesn't cause a problem with my cutout. Just going to select it, go to modify, 3D operations, 3D rotate, use the x-axis to rotate it, and I rotate it so it angles the other way around, like so. Now I'm going to keep this as it is, because if in case I want to change the handle, and if it's a union, it's going to cause a lot of issues. So I'm going to make a whole copy of this item before I union anything. That's a safe way of doing things. Actually, I'm going to copy it far away because that's my final design. So I'm going to do 50. I'm going to do union the cap with the handle, enter. Oops. Try it again. Union. There we go, it's one piece.